Good morning. Yesterday we put up some carpeting and we put those the permanent barriers on. Today we will finish off the carpeting and add the backing for the barrier. I just wanted to point out today when I came in, one of the tiles for the vinyl planking on the wheel arches had actually fallen off. So I checked all the other ones to see if there was anything coming loose, and there wasn't on the walls, but there was on the wheel arch, and this one kind of looks like it's not all the way flat like when I laid it. And I suspect this might be because I didn't use any sticker bond when I put the wheel arch ones on. So I am just going to leave it for another night and see what happens. It is quite cold this morning, so it could be because of the expansion and contraction. So I'm a little bit worried about that, but if I don't want to pull it all apart again, just to put some glue on. So if it does fall off again, I'm just gonna screw them into the wood. But other than that, it's the wall ones seem to be fine. Let's get started on the barrier. I think I will start off with the loose pieces, the sliding door pieces, and just put some carpet on them and let them dry while I am finishing up the back side of that. Actually, even those 5 minutes that I've been here, it's a little bit too cold. I've had to switch from my thongs into my shoes. So I've noticed with the carpeting, it's actually a lot easier to use the utility knife than the scissors. The scissors aren't difficult, it's just the utility knife is easier. Just like that. I've finished cutting out the carpet pieces. I'm just going to glue it on, and then we'll cut out the actual sizing for it. I don't know if you remember, but yesterday I was having some issues with putting the carpet on the barrier. So on the roof it was fine, because I had it supported up, but when I had it against the cabinetry, there was nothing supporting the weight between the carpet and the cabinetry for the glue to dry, and the carpet kept just like flicking off it and molding back into the round shape. So I'm just going to weight these while it's drying with some bricks, and then it should be stuck on. So I noticed something with this glue when I opened it this morning, and that's when it dries, it turns like chewing gum. Like when you pull on it, it stretches, so it becomes like a gum. And I have a feeling that's how the adhesion works. It's by getting in the fibers and creating a gum to stick to. So in that case, I think it's probably better to actually use more than normal glues, where the thinner the layer, the better the adhesion is. So I'm going to apply a generous amount on these sliding doors, and we'll see if it holds a bit better. So yesterday we put on the carpeting for the ceiling and this backing for the cabinetry here. I had issues sticking this to the wall, and I ended up just drilling it in and shoving it under the woodwork there. So I'm probably going to have this same issue with these walls here. So what I'm going to do is actually drill them in. So I will put screws in and then glue these sides. These sides shouldn't be an issue. It's not going to be seen. It's only when actually even when the door's fully closed, that it's still not going to be seen, because there should be a bit of a excess anyway. But just in case it is, I still don't have the measurements just yet. Just in case it is, I'm actually going to spray paint some nails. I think it looks fine here with the silver screws. It kind of makes it look more tradey, but with the wall, I don't want it to be seen. So I have spray paint. I will spray paint some screws. Yeah, let's get some measurements and cut up some carpet, and we'll glue and screw them in. Yeah, so okay, so I've made a rough cut of where I'm going to put this. So what I'll do is I'll secure it in the middle here, but I won't secure it on the sides just yet. The reason I am going to leave that is because when I put a piece on here to cover this bit and cover this bit and cover this gap here, is so that I can screw it from behind and then fold it over. That way the screws are hidden on the inside. Yeah, so for now, let's attach it here, and then we'll make our cutting here, and then secure it on. Okay, so I have finished screwing it on. I'm just going to trim off some of this excess. Actually, that side is fine. So I can bend it over like this and get the straight edge that I need on this side. I may cut this off, but it's not really necessary, because there's going to be another piece of carpet that just hangs over the top of this, just to cover the bare metal, but the mechanics can still move it. So let me just trim that stuff off, and we'll continue with the next one. So that cut actually came out really well. I might just, I'm not going to put as many screws in it because I don't think it needs it. It's because these screws are pretty close to that edge anyway. So I might just put 3 just to stop it from coming out. I finished putting this driver's side carpeting on, so we can start on the sliding doors, but while I was putting this on, I forgot that the negative cable for the battery was still pulled here, so I've had to push it through the side here, but it's actually caused a gap between the wall and where I pulled this cable through. I'm just gonna leave it for now, and once I put the bed structure in, I may put some gap filler in there. I'm just leaving it for now because it may actually be hidden by the bed and the lounge, so I'm not worrying about it at the moment. So these panels should be dry by now. Yeah, that's holding on pretty well. I'm just going to cut them out, but I have noticed with the bricks and the dog has actually been walking on it, haven't you? Just like that. Come on, see. There's actually marks on it now, so I'm just going to repaint those to get rid of the marks there. I think these panels have dried now, so I'm going to attach them on. In order to do that, because I want the railings hidden, I'm actually going to mount the rails at the bottom. I should be able to do that directly on here. Yeah, so I should just be able to screw the sliders at the bottom and have them running across. I'm going to also need to put some sort of ledging up here just so that it doesn't keep falling out. Yeah, so I already have a piece of wood measured out for here, because the first design that we did actually called for a piece of wood for the sliders to be on. So it should be able to mount up here, but I'm just going to double check that measurement. So I already cut a piece of wood for the bottom railing for the first design that we had. It doesn't fit at the top, but it does fit down here. So let me just check and make sure this isn't obstructing this access to the engine. If that's the case, we'll just mount it on and have the sliders at the top. It's pretty close. It should be fine. It's not this like a millimeter Hang on. It's pretty close. There's like a millimeter difference, but you can still access it, so it should be fine. I just need to shave it back a bit because it is a little bit uneven, but we'll do that after we mount the the sliders. Actually, just as I was putting this sliding panel on, I just remembered I wanted the sliders on the black side, like this, the carpeted side. So I'm gonna need to put a little rail here as well, just to keep it from tipping over. So we'll put the sliders on this and a support rail here. I did also mention yesterday that I still had concerns with the obstruction of view from the rear view mirror, and if we needed to, we can shave it back. So now that I have these up, let's test out the rear view mirror and just make sure it's I can see through. It's good on that side. I need to put this one up as well. Yeah, so that is actually fine. I can see the entire cabin and the window as well. So there's no obstruction there. I was very concerned about that, but it seems to be working fine. And it's actually blocking off a lot of glare that the vinyl planks were bouncing around. So this carpet has actually made this cabin darker, which is what I wanted, to reduce any glare, especially with the window, like the windshield. So I've lined up the carpeted side. I am just going to mark this carpet with painter's tape, so I know to put the slider in between the two lines there. Okay, so I mounted one side to the board, but I haven't mounted this one. I just noticed an issue where I have this wood. It's a little bit too high. I think I need to put it down a bit more, just so that it's easier to get in and out of the cabin and cargo. So I'm just gonna move this down and see if all this equipment still, the seats and stuff still go up. Yeah, so it actually works better when it's right down the bottom, which is I think where I originally had it. So I'm just gonna re-measure this stuff and secure it on. The batteries have died on most of my electronics. I have been able to add the railings on. So it works fine, but as I said, it does move out, so I'm gonna need to put a piece of wood up here, just so that it's got some backing to slide on. So I am just about to head up to the hardware store. I also noticed on the front side it's having the same issue, so I think I will put another piece of railing on the other side, just so that it doesn't fall through. So on this side here, so it doesn't keep moving back and forwards like that. I'm back from the hardware store. I just got these little trimmings, so I'm just gonna put these up there, one on this side and another one on the other side. Let me mount that up and we'll see how that goes. Okay, I think I've finally finished the barrier, so I need to repaint it again because I did get some scuff marks on it when I was putting the railings on, but it seems to work pretty well. I'll just show you the other side. So from the front of the car, it just looks like a utility tradie truck, which is what I wanted. So yeah, from the back, it looks fine. There's still a little bit of a line in the middle. I think I may need to get some handles though, because on the carpeted side it's fine because you can grip on, but on this side there's nothing to actually grip onto. I have to like put my fingers in between the little gap. So I'm thinking little handles, and I can slide it open and close. But I'm pretty happy with the way that it's turned out. So I purposely made it a little bit tight just so that it doesn't fly around while I'm driving, but if it still does fly around, then I can just get some Velcro and put it on the carpeted side. But yeah, it's sitting quite nicely. I'll probably paint this strip black and then up here white and mount some lights on up there. And this side I'll probably paint that white to match with the front of that. But I'm glad it's over. Took what, 3 days, or 2.5 days to build this one. But now that that's done, I can get on to some of the real work. So I think I'll probably take a rest day tomorrow. I've been working 2 weeks straight, so let's, on the following day, let's reconnect the battery up, and then we can start putting in the ventilation fan and the roof racks and the solar power. Yeah, so once again, thanks for joining. I'll see you next time.